The White Bear Area Chamber of Commerce and On Location TV19 are proud to present Your Business Matters, dedicated to your business needs. The White Bear Area Chamber is a nonprofit business organization serving as an advocate for the White Bear area and its business community. Now, here is the Executive Director of the White Bear Area Chamber and the host of Your Business Matters, Tom Snell.
Welcome to Your Business Matters, brought to you by the White Bear Area Chamber of Commerce. Each month, we interview community leaders and local business owners so you can be informed about the developments in our community. This month, I'm pleased to welcome Joel Andersen from the Washington-Ramsey County Recycling and Energy Board. Thank you very much for coming. We will discuss the issues related to recycling in our community. First of all, that's a big title, Ramsey Washington County Energy Recycling Board. What does all that mean?
Great question. What that means is the two counties, Ramsey and Washington counties, have both come together in a joint agreement to work together to address business recycling and energy needs.
And why is that important?
Just because garbage doesn't matter where it goes. It all goes to the same place, whether you're in any of the counties.
Okay. Now, getting beyond, we all want to reduce our waste stream. I mean, that's just something that's important for our communities to be able to do that. Are there any financial implications for that? And when I bring that up, I mean not just for business, but for the areas. Do they pay money for when somebody brings trash? You dump your trash and it goes somewhere. What are the cost implications with that, both from the consumer standpoint and from the business standpoint?
Certainly. If you really look at waste, what waste is it's a resource. And what I mean by that is, as a business owner, you're paying to take materials into your business to make whatever you're going to make, and then ultimately you are paying to have that removed in the form of trash or waste. So if you're paying for the cost to come into the door, that's an obvious cost, but a lot of businesses don't think about the cost that it takes to remove the trash or the waste away from the business. And that's where there's a significant savings that can be realized through recycling programs.
And how about the county? I know you work, your office is in Ramsey County. Is there any cost implications for the county? For example, I mean, does the cost of removing the trash and going to a landfill, is there any cost, or is that cost only received by the business owner?
Sure. There's the savings can be really summed up in kind of a form of a tax. Everything that goes that a business puts into a garbage can, ultimately there's a 70% tax on that material. 70%? 70%.
Wow.
Everything that you put into a recycling container, there is no tax. You might be paying for an extra service for the recycling, but it's non-taxable.
So, I mean, this could be significantly, there are ways for business to actually save money, bottom line, by doing certain things.
Absolutely. We have, through the program, we have it's called the BizRecycling program, and it's a grant program open to any business in Ramsey or Washington County. And the business doesn't...
A grant program.
A grant program.
Okay.
We'll give you free money to start up a recycling program. The business is not expected to know anything about recycling. We have independent consultants through the Minnesota Chamber of Commerce that will come out and do a site assessment.
Now, the site assessment.
Sure.
From time to time, you hear statements like, I'm from the government, I'm here to help you. And sometimes that can cause some people a little bit of concern, you know.
Absolutely.
What is going to happen? I'm going to have somebody here from the county government coming in to look at the internal operations of my business, I'm not so sure I want to have that happen.
Right.
Now, is that going to happen with this program?
Nope. we recognize that most businesses would probably not welcome that format. So that's, again, we've chose to partner with the Minnesota Chamber of Commerce,
which is the largest business organization in the state of Minnesota.
Absolutely. Yep. And so it's really a business-to-business relationship. And again, anything that is disclosed to the consultants, they do not pass that information along to the Ramsey Washington Recycling and Energy Board.
So this is really kind of a positive approach to doing this, rather than something draconian that we're going to fine you for doing something. Instead, you're saying, let's work collaboratively together so that we can get this accomplished through volunteer actions and through lowering the taxes that you pay or the fees that you pay for garbage pickup.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I've had businesses ask me why, what's in it for us?
That's a good question.
It is, and I think it's a fair question. So the state of Minnesota set a pretty aggressive goal for recycling. So by year 2030, the recycling rate the goal is to be 75% recycling. Currently, we've been stagnant for about 15 years at about 47%. So the state says, okay, here's the goal of 75%.
Yeah.
And it is up to the counties to figure out how can we help achieve that goal. So the Ramsey Washington counties have come together and said, let's put this together in a way that it's incentivizing to businesses, that makes it easy for business to start up a program.
So you'd say incentivizing rather than being something that is going to be hurt business, I guess, in the long term.
Correct.
Yep. You want to incentivize them to take positive action.
Right, and that's why I say the business doesn't need to know anything about recycling. We've got the consultants who they really get excited about seeing dumpsters. They love to talk trash, and
really,
yeah, absolutely. So they will walk through a business, learn their waste stream, and put together a recycling plan. And the business is still under no obligation to. They can take as much of that plan or as little of that plan as they'd like.
Do you have any? Do you have any stories of any businesses or business groupings that have actually saved money through this process?
Absolutely. Currently, it's one of the biggest money savings stories is the St. Paul Hotel.
Okay.
Our consultants worked very hard to engage with that with the hotel. They thought they had a very robust recycling program in place.
You run into that a lot. You know, people will say, I already have a recycling program in place. I don't need to have anybody come in and, because we're already doing all we can do.
All we can do, yeah.
Yeah.
And what the hotel failed to realize is that the restaurants on site are a scratch restaurant, meaning that they make everything homemade in-house. So it's not pre-prepared. So there's a lot of food waste as it's being cooked and processed. All of that food waste and scraps was going into a dumpster, the garbage can. If you think about food waste, it's wet, it's heavy, it fills up a dumpster very quickly. So as the program rolled out, we implemented an organics, a commercial composting program. And their first year of the program, they saved almost $25,000.
Wow!
In the
bottom
taxes.
line, saved $25,000. That's in many ways that's an employee.
As an employee.
Yeah. Wow.
So now they've really taken it and run with it. The business, if you're an employee there, if you are eligible for a promotion, they really tie moving up into the business into what have you done that's green? What have you done to help the St. Paul Hotel become even more efficient?
Yes. I think there's also a program that you did with a group of businesses in downtown White Bear Lake, right?
Absolutely. That was a unique partnership with the city of White Bear Lake.
And go into that a little bit, if you wouldn't mind.
Absolutely. So it was at the Washington Square strip mall.
Right.
Each of the
That's
businesses,
right in downtown. That's in the center of downtown White Bear Lake.
Yep, absolutely. The businesses there each had their own dumpster for their own trash services. And if you've been in downtown White Bear around that mall, it's a very space-confined area.
Yes, it is.
So working with the city and Ramsey and Washington Recycling and Energy Board, we came together to build a central enclosure, combine everybody's waste, recycling, and organics so that it's instead of 5 to 10 different dumpsters, we now have just 3, maybe 4 dumpsters. So we consolidated it and really made, we saved space and efficiencies for the downtown White Bear businesses.
So you're talking about space efficiencies and maybe financial opportunities for those businesses along that strip where the Washington Square is area in downtown White Bear.
Yeah, and it's one of the best, I think, examples of a partnership between a county, a city, and the businesses.
Another thing I wanted to ask you about is you mentioned money. You mentioned free money earlier in the interview, and that kind of caught my attention. So I'm interested in learning a little bit about free money.
Sure, sure. It's all about money with you, Tom, huh? No. Yep. So the BizRecycling program, the grant program, any business is eligible for up to $10,000 worth of recycling services.
$10,000.
$10,000. And what that means is we can purchase the recycling containers for, let's say, an office building, restaurants, front of house, back of house, however, wherever the recycling is needed most. We can purchase the recycling containers much cheaper than through a big box hardware store.
And they would get those. So you just get those. You don't have to pay for them. You get
correct.
These get these up to the amount of the grant.
Yep. It's a 2-page grant application.
So it's not something that's going to take hours and hours for somebody to go through and.
No, and our consultants can work with the business and fill it out for them on their behalf.
Wow.
So if the business has a decor that they want to match, we'll pay for a higher end recycling container to match their decor as well.
Yeah, we have one of our chamber members, I think, has done that and has the decor.
Absolutely, Grandma's Bakery. Yes.
So it works really well for them.
Yeah, and so that's just one part of it. There's other aspects of the grant program. The free money will pay for staff training.
You will.
Absolutely.
So I mean so you'll actually pay for some services beyond just purchasing equipment. You'll work with the staff so that they'll know what to do.
Right. A recycling program is only as good as the people who are putting the items into the container.
So the business doesn't have to learn, my gosh, I'm going to have to tell person A to dump here and here and here and here. You actually provide the training so that the staff will understand what they need to do.
Absolutely.
Is it difficult? I mean, is it really complicated for somebody to learn that, do you think?
I don't think so. I think it's a perceived notion that recycling can be complicated.
Yeah.
Or many businesses have said, well, we don't want to do organics because it might be stinky. But if you think about what you're doing with your trash, you're putting your food waste in with your paper waste already, or whatever, if you don't have a recycling program.
So you haven't had a lot of problems, though, with people, with somebody setting up the program and say, my staff just doesn't understand it.
No, and if that's the case, we'll even come back after a year and do a retraining, just because.
Yeah, and could that be even beyond the amount that you have for the grant, the retraining part?
Yeah, within reason.
Okay, all right. Yep.
Yes, yep, but we're looking at sustainability of the programs as well.
Okay. You know, I'm also interested in learning a little bit about the people that go in and do the audit, I guess would be the best term for the business. You work, you said, with the Minnesota Chamber. What is that? How is that set up exactly?
Sure. I'll take you through a kind of a typical walkthrough. If we get a referral, we'll contact the Minnesota Chamber. Minnesota Wastewise is the group that works with the businesses. They will contact the business, set up a time that works for the business to come out and really go through, work with the business owner, manager, whomever, and understand what the business is looking to try to achieve as far as recycling goals.
And that's the first step then?
That's the first step.
Okay. Now, the other thing that I was wondering about is somebody comes out and they make this visit. And let's say that the response of the audit is this all-encompassing process that they have to go through. And let's assume that maybe the business owner doesn't want to do everything, but he or she finds a few areas where they think they could make some improvements, but it may not go through the entire process that you set up originally.
Absolutely.
Do you find that, and is that actually helpful?
It is, and we encourage that. Like I said, the report that Minnesota Wastewise will leave with the business will have maybe 3 or 4 different items that the business could work on. A business is not under any obligation. We recommend, if they're hesitant about it, start out small. And we've found that many businesses will then come back after 6 months and say, hey, this is actually pretty easy. We'd like to reapply for more money to expand that recycling program to maybe incorporate the organics collection.
Can a business get the grant support if they don't do the entire audit that's recommended by the Minnesota Wastewise?
I mean, it is a grant program, so it is a signed contract, but I mean, the business is going to know what is expected of them, and because they'll get to say this is the level of commitment.
It's still a joint program. I mean, you're working to make the improvements, so you want to make it work for the company, though.
Right, and that's why we say we'll come back out and do further training of the staff. If they're having a hard time with it, we're not going to turn our back on them. Okay.
I want to go into just a couple of things here before our program ends about the future of this. You mentioned that Ramsey County is expected to dramatically increase the amount of recycling by 2033, right?
2030, correct.
Yeah, 2030, excuse me. So that being the case, is there going to be are there other steps before that where recycling is supposed to go towards that trajectory moving forward, like in the next 5 years or the next 2 years or 3 years? Are things going to happen that will make that more of a profound goal?
Sure, great question. I think the county's approach is really that we've got a solid residential program, both Ramsey and Washington County, that's been developed. We're really setting our sights on business recycling. Currently, 84% of businesses do not have a recycling program.
They don't. 84%.
So that is why we are targeting this sector. Absolutely. So that's what we're trying to do, is figure out how can we engage this next level, because we won't be able to get to the state goal of 2030 or of 75% by 2030 without business.
84%. That's incredible.
Yeah.
And restaurants, you mentioned restaurants a lot, so I would imagine the majority of restaurants don't have a recycling program now.
And we're trying.
You're looking at.
We're and again, it depends on the scale. Really, it's based on volume of waste.
Yep.
So, but that's what we're really focusing on in the next 2, 3, 5 years.
And you have good relationships with some of the haulers too.
Absolutely. Yep. We're working with the haulers too. We've worked with haulers if they have problem properties. The haulers have actually recommended BizRecycling.
Well, I wanted to let our viewers know that if they have any questions about this, first of all, we're more than happy to take inquiries at the Chamber of Commerce, and they can either call us, and that number again is 651-429-8593. They can visit our website, which is listed at www.whitebearchamber.com. If they want to contact Ramsey County, how would they go about that?
Certainly.
Joel?
A great place to start is visit the website, and that's lesstrash.com. That has success stories of all the businesses that have participated. So,
and I would really encourage people to look at that. That's really a very, very interesting website to visit. Yes.
Yeah, and if they would like to call, they could call. Our general number is 651-266-1199.
Great. Well, I really appreciate you joining us today on Your Business Matters. Thank you, Joel Andersen. I'm Tom Snell. Enjoy your time, by the way, with your family this wonderful holiday season. Thank you for watching Your Business Matters.
Thank you, Tom.
You've been watching Your Business Matters. For more information on this program or the White Bear Area Chamber, visit whitebearchamber.com or call 651-429-8593.